Dr. N.K. Venkataramana, founder and director of neurosciences, Brains Super Speciality Hospitals. Human brain is one of the most fascinating and complexly engineered organ today. And as on today in the universe, this seems to be the most complex creation that has ever happened to our knowledge. However, if you look at the evolution, the human brain has come far away from the so called reflex brain and a pre-programmed brain to a completely independent intellectual thinking and acting brain. Now, to begin with, all the lower living beings had what is called as a reflex brain. The brain will respond to the environmental situations, it responds to the light, it responds to the darkness, it responds to the food, it responds to the enemy. Now, these are the few things which the brain was able to recognize in those living beings, and that was all that is necessary to survive. If you look at that, the entire purpose seems to be the survival, the protection and propagation of the species. Now, from that level, it has moved to a brain which is pre-programmed for propagation of species and survival and fight or flight reaction. Now, in that level, the brain has evolved into identifying the food, how to fetch the food, so that this one being can survive. The second thing, identifying the enemy and recognize the ability to fight or flight. If you can fight it, you stand and fight. If you cannot, you run away from the enemy to escape the danger. The third thing is the propagation of the species. So, this is the second level, and from that on the brain has moved on to attaching the emotional brain. Now, certain emotions, in terms of creating a groups. So, from that level you start seeing animals instead of being alone or independent ones, they start living in groups, herds, and then a society and a type of a culture which has got established. From then on, the human brain has expanded tremendously, and one of the things that has expanded maximum is this so called neocortex or the newer brain, which has got phenomenal capacities in every aspect of the basic brain which was there in the lower animals. So, among these, the most important thing is the frontal lobes, which have developed vastly in human brain, which gives us a completely different identity for two reasons. One, it has got an ability to think, ability to imagine, ability to express. Speaking is one of the greatest function of the brain, which is exclusive at the moment for the human beings, and because of that we have got the languages, we have got scripts, we have got stories, we have got narratives, and we are able to explain everything, and we are able to document, and we are able to create a culture, libraries, and for the people to get this one. So, a fund of knowledge has been created purely by such development in the brain. Now, among the lower species, there seems to be some kind of a communication, but however, the communication process has got refined so well. The fact how human beings have developed speech as a faculty is still very, very controversial. Many theories are available about it, but what is interesting is that it started with sounds, and people while working, they made some sounds either as joyfully or to divert their physical strain, and then these sounds have become rather communicative sounds, and the tone, the pitch and the type of noise we create can indicate pleasure or the pain or the danger, and then from there the different versions of sounds have started. Whereas Hindu philosophy clearly tells that the Tandava dance of Mahashiva, when he was doing the sounds from the Damarakam, has created vibrations that has started the first letter called Pranavam, the Om, and from the Pranavam every letter has taken its origin, and this is another theory which is spiritually well believed, and scientifically we are still struggling to prove how exactly this speech has started and how it has spread.